Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. We're on Farming Simulator 25 and we're on the PlayStation 5. So a polite request, quick reminder before I get into today's video, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button before you leave. It doesn't cost you anything, but it does mean a heck of a lot to me. So today's video is a lot of absolutely nothing. Making the most of this infinite shower of money that is coming in from the government subsidy. So it's time to upgrade, to buy some more big kit who misses. So with the idea of obviously eventually going to be buying more land, so I'm going to need to do more work, but at the same time I can do contracts quicker, like I did with the cultivator. Yeah, I mean that was the reason I bought the biggest tractor and the biggest cultivator. It had nothing to do with the fact that it was the brand new case quad track at all. No, not at all. It was purely because I needed to do the work properly and bigger and betterer. So, yes, and oh look, we're getting another case vehicle. I'm not obsessed much. Have I ever said that I like my case vehicle? No, probably not. Nah, it's just a coinkydink. Do have a question whilst you are watching this and listening to me talking absolute shite. Is there an easier way of working out what header trailer goes best with the header? Because it's like you have these predetermined header trailers, yeah, and they're all like 60-30, 70-40, you know what I mean? And it's like, what does that even mean? Just tell me the length. Tell me what size trailer header it will fit. It's that simple, you know what I mean? And unless I'm being completely dim, which I most likely am, I can't see it, and I couldn't see it in 22 either. So it really was a case of, right, okay, I'm going to buy one, put the header up against it and go, yeah, that's too small, that's too big, bin it off, get another one. And that's exactly what I've had to do here. And in fact, when I bought the corn header, yeah, that one there, I thought, okay, I'll be clever, and I clicked on the R3 button where it says recommended attachments, yeah, or bits that go along with it, and it said this one particular trailer. So I did that, and I'm not being funny, but even that, it still looks too big. Yes, I can probably just drive it down the road. That's the whole point of it folding up. I know that, but I thought, well, I might as well whack it on a trailer and be done with it, because then at least it can be towed behind something else if I need to. Do you know what I mean? My head is a mile ahead of the game of what I'm doing, as in not ahead of the game because I'm just so cool and clever. No, ahead of this game, as in I have plans of what I want to do in the future. Yeah, I wish I was that clever. So yeah, it's just purely, please, comments. Is there an easier way of understanding the numbers and the figures? So you buy you look at the trailers, and like I said, they have like ND 70/30 or 60/40, whatever. I understand that, you know, it's like, oh, because the whole thing equates to 100. But to me, I can't quite work out. I've now just bought myself an 8-meter header. How does that work out on the thing? You know what I mean? Why doesn't it just say on the header trailers, this will fit, this will, you know what I mean? So yeah, please, show me, because it saves me not that I'm probably going to go off and buy any more headers. I don't need to, but that's not the point. When I go into the next map or I do another do you know what I mean? So it baffles me and confuses me a lot, which isn't difficult. So anyway, and also, yes, I've upgraded, but I don't know why, but if I'm left with like old kit, I am an old man and an old farmer, yeah, as in like fucking many years ago farming. So the kit that I used back then would now be classed as, oh God, I was watching somebody, they went around a farm, a video literally yesterday on the day of this, so what am I on, the 27th, so on the 26th of November, I watched a video where a person who I don't subscribe to, but I kind of keep watching their videos, it's very naughty of me, but basically British farmer, and he goes around and buys old kit, does them up or whatever, like, you know, and he uses it all. So he went to an auction, and it was a retirement auction. They're very sad when they're like that, but the entire stock of machinery, rolling stock, field works, the whole lot, trailers, everything, they were all like original. Like, it must have been, they probably bought them back in whenever, and that's all they ever used. Fabulous, absolutely fabulous. I'm sat there, I mean, and he was the same. He was like, oh, look at this beautiful old thing, yeah, gorgeous, oh yeah, I love this one, I've got one of these already. And that, I think that's why I like him, and I really should subscribe to the guy. But it was things like the old Marshall tractor, and there was a was it a 78? No, was it a 7810? 78? Yeah, it was an old Ford 78, one of them, and four-wheel drive. And it was one of when I first started farming back in the day, that was probably one of the biggest tractors I ever drove at the time. Obviously, we got bigger tractors in, but yeah, so things like that. It was like, oh, love it, absolutely love it. So yeah, so basically where I'm trying to go with this, wow, bring it back in, Andy, the combine. So I bought a brand new combine, but I've obviously got the old Massey combine, and I'm like, I should sell it. I got rid of the header, and I should sell it. And I'm like, no, I kind of want to just leave it to the side and just have it sit there gathering dust, because it's an old classic, and it's really sad but quite funny, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And I know the baler I bought, so technically it was new, but again, I'm not going to get rid of that, because that would be some, you know what I mean, it's almost like I'm subconsciously keeping stuff, and it's going to turn into like a freaking farming museum or something. I don't know. I don't know, it's funny. Anyway, trying to get back on track now. There you go. Yep, what we're there you go. Okay, we're here, we're in the room. What the hell is this? Okay, so I need to make some room to put a new shed to fit all my new kit. Okay, that's fine. So I'll cut some trees down and I'll make some room. That's fine. That's as easy as it should be. No, it's almost like this tree was put there, and it's like, no, this is purely decoration. You can't do anything with it. The computer says no. It won't let me cut half the branches. It won't let me find the end of the branches so I can cut them so they then disappear. All right, and you will see this in a bit, as and it's just, I'm like, this is awful. It's absolutely awful, you know. And again, it's like, just when you find things in this game that are like, wow, that's amazing, that's awesome, that's so cool, you know, and your mind races off to the prospects of what's to come, and how you can utilize what you've just seen, and it's just glorious. And then you go back to this utter steaming pile of shit. Pile. Honestly, I used to weirdly actually enjoy sort of doing a bit of lumber work on 22, whether it's just cleaning up around the edge of a field or getting rid of some trees because they're in the way when I'm trying to work my headlands, and so on and so forth. And it was fine. Do you know what I mean? It seemed to work as well as can be expected. It was great. You'd cut logs to a certain degree, and if it was too large or too heavy, it would tell you it was too heavy. But the trees would fall apart and they would cut and they would be there, and then you'd chuck them in a trailer and away you go. Look at that. So I've just cut that length, that part of the trunk in 3 places. Didn't even register. Did not register. You know? And it's like, so that bit where the branch just disappeared, that was an anomaly. Trust me. Watch this. So, okay, I need to get rid of this bit, so we'll cut it. Nope, it's still there. So we'll cut it. Nope, it's still there. Then I got a bit frustrated. So, okay, so now, magically, I've managed to cut, and look, it breakdances as well. Nope, it's still there. It's literally cutting the wood from around the branch that I'm trying to get rid of. Okay? So, again, in 22, look at it. I mean, what the fuck is that? Seriously, what the fucking hell is going on? And again, I know it's not the best trailer, and it's, we shouldn't put it on that trailer. It's a trailer. Why the fuck shouldn't I? There we go. This is it, right? So we'll cut that bit off, thinking that it will get rid of the branch. Nope. Okay. It won't let me pick that up. It won't let me pick that up. But it let me pick that up, and the other one's still breakdancing. It's merrily spinning around, and the other one behind it. And again, there you go. So, like I said, in 22, and it worked on that one branch, and that's why I said it's an anomaly, because the idea is you cut the log at the end of the branch, and the branch normally just poofs, because it's not meant to be there. What is this? Look at it. Look at it. I mean, and it's moving. I'm not doing that. I'm not. It's cut. And then it the wafer thin. Look at it. Wafer that. And do you know what? I even got to the point where I'm like, I'm not even going to bother loading this into the bucket. Because the idea was I was going to get all the wood together, bugger off down to the paper mill and get rid of it and get a little bit of cash. It won't even come out of the bucket. I had to manually empty that, get out, physically pull it out of the freaking bucket. All right, so that was like, let's scrap that idea and let's get the mulcher and let's just shred all of the wood and the trees. Now, I'm sure at some point or other in 22 you had the mulcher. Yeah, the woodland mulcher, not the ground mulcher. And that's what this is. For some bizarre reason, it's now like 5 times as fucking large. I don't quite understand why, but I'm like, in my head, I'm like, that's fine, because surely that must mean that it will do more damage. This is brilliant. This is awesome. This is exactly what it's meant to do. Look, you go up to a tree and then it just disappears. And exactly what it did in 22. And then you get to this lot. And, oh my God. And I'm sorry, but I had to leave all of this in, because not very often will I want to share my pain and suffering with you. I normally try and fast forward it, skip it, delete it, whatever, because it's like, if I can't watch it, I won't let you watch it kind of thing, But no, I'm sorry. You need to see this. It's awful. Absolutely awful. And even if because I'm not dropping the mulcher onto the floor. I'm keeping it up, and it seems to be working on the smallest bits. And then you do this, and then it's like, rather than actually cutting stuff up and just it disappearing as you're going along, it leaves bits behind. So you're driving over, and it's like, but I've just cut this up. I've literally sat on top of it with the mulcher, trying to destroy it, and then other times it won't even touch it. So I'm pushing the entire fucking tree around. It's like, why? And you're probably like, well, why didn't you just buy a logger kind of thing, and shred it that way? No, why should I? Why should I do that? I don't need to do that. I don't want to bloody rent one out. All I wanted to do was make some room so I could put a shed down. And like I said before, in 22, I would cut it down by hand with the chainsaw. I would come along with the mulcher and clean up, and I would put all the logs onto a trailer of one description or another, and off I go. Yeah, job done. Nice and easy, and a very enjoyable session. But this, oh my god, it's like to me, it's like it's a massive things. It's like, was this literally put in as decoration? So you're not meant to cut it down, right? Which is crap for starters, right? But I know in 22 there were occasionally trees and bushes and stuff, and it's like, you can't touch this. It's just, or for some reason you weren't allowed to cut it down, right? So I understand that, but not right there. That would be a ridiculous thing. You just wouldn't be able to put another building there. The other thing is, are they like, well, no, if you want to cut something this big down and deal with it, you need to go and get the all singing, dancing logging machines and the lumber machines and stuff, and get one of them. No, why should I? Oh, and this is hilarious, because it's now in the doorway. I couldn't even get the chainsaw on it to cut it, because every time I went to cut it, it was pressing circle, and it was shutting and opening the door. So that's why I had to go back to that. So that was funny as well. It's just, yeah. So it's like, oh, if you want to get rid of a tree this big, you need the lumberjacks, the proper lumber work, or the big tractors and the cranes and all this. No, why the hell should I? So yeah, has anybody else come across this? Has anybody else tried to just remove a fucking tree off their land and had to deal with this absolute whatever this is? Because it's just ridiculous. The old, again, right, and we're going back to 22, and I keep going back to 22, and I'm not being funny. This is 25. This should be better, not worse. All right, and don't fucking start, oh, well, it's just because it's a brand new. No, it's got fuck all to do with it. This is a brand new game, right? And it's supposed to be better. It's supposed to be better graphics, better quality, better control, better equipment. All right. Compare this to how you would have done this in 22. 22, I would have been done and dusted, and the fucking barn would be up and running already, and everything would be parked by now. You tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. So again, it's like, I just don't understand it. You go from, wow, this is amazing, this is awesome, they've put so much time and effort and detail into this, and then you come across something like this that just, to be honest, just blows everything else out. And it's like, why did they spend that much time and effort making this really pretty that they forgot to check the basics? Did they just assume that, oh yeah, if we bring it over from 22, everything will be fine and dandy, even though we're using different equipment and we've upgraded this and we've upgraded that? Even the graphics on the tree, once I'd cut it down, were awful. They were awful. The trunk, yeah, when it was on the floor, still intact. You go back, if you want to see what I'm on about, and put it in slow, it's rippling and it's moving and it's just bizarre. When it was on the trailer, it was like there were 3 different texture layers going on at the same time, and they were all competing at the same time. It was awful, absolutely awful, and I'm sorry, and it really frustrates me that that's what this video is. And it is. It's pretty much, it started off, I'm just upgrading all my kit and I'm putting a new building in, blah blah blah, let's do a bit of groundwork, that kind of thing. It's all very cool. And then this happens, and it's like, please, just, I honestly, I got to a point where I'm like, make it stop, please make it stop. And there was no, there was nothing it could do to make it go any quicker. And it's like, we'll put the shed somewhere else. No, that's not the point. You shouldn't have to do that. you know. And like I said, there was no way I was going to even hire the lumber stuff, you know, the proper like big cranes and all that. Why would I need to do that when I've got a chainsaw and a mulcher, you know? So, yeah, it's just so. I had to share that with you. I'm sorry, everybody, but I had to share that with you. Please, comments. Have you cut down trees by hand, and have you experienced the same awful jankiness with the graphics, the way things are spinning round, the way the shit just disappears into the floor, the way that you can't cut a branch off as easy as you used to do it in 22. You know, literally, like, you cut it on a certain point. You can see that it worked. That first branch I did, it worked. Then everything else just went to shit. So, yeah. Ugh. Wow. What can I say? What can I do? Well, I'm not going to say any more, really, to be honest. This is pretty much the end of the video. It's just me putting the shed down now. An interesting one. I think this is... I can't remember if this was... don't think... is this one of the mods? I think it is. But ironically... and this is quite funny because, like I said, I bought the massive cultivator. It won't fit in any of the sheds. It's just too big. It's really funny, and it's like I need to, I at least want to be able to put it away tidily. So yeah, that's why I spent so long sort of going through all the different buildings, and trying to measure them against that. Didn't care about all the rest of it because I knew everything else will fit somewhere. But that thing won't go through the door. It's hilarious. It's like, ooh, it's a tad too tall. So this was kind of, and this one came with the workshop as well. And I liked the design, the fact, this bit that you drive through the end of the building and it's your workshop. That's very cool. And again, this is what I'm saying, whether this is a new edition mod or whatever, right? These little details, are amazing, and they're really cool, and they do add everything to the game. So the fact that this shed, rather than just have a workshop where you have to park outside to do everything, this one you physically drive through. It's that kind of level, right? And I love that stuff. It's just that little bit extra immersive detail, right? And then it's completely blown out by something as simple as not being able to cut a tree. I knew that was coming, by the way, but I went through it, guys, and thinking, but this again, right? Okay, so again, right, confusion prevails. Look how many times I had to cut that before anything happened. Hilarious. Well, it wasn't, because it was like, are you fucking kidding me? Right there, finally disappeared, right? Awful. It's just awful. I'm cutting it, and nothing's happening. It's not even red. Look at it. Look. Why is the smaller branch not disappearing? Why is it still there? But all the logs around, the wood around it, it's magically being cut away. It's just awful. I mean, there. So you saw the texture on the branch, and you knew that if you cut near that, it will disappear. And it's like, what the fuck? And then, right, I'm half expecting that tree to die now. Okay, simply because in 22, if you cut one branch off of a tree, just trying to trim it or because it's in the way, for some reason, the entire tree would then be like, I'm dead. You've cut me down. I'm done. Right? Which was, it used to be frustrating because it's like, no, I didn't want to get rid of the whole tree. You're a really pretty tree. Your branch was in the way. Do you know what I mean? So that was upset. And now, so I was kind of expecting it to happen with this one, and I'll find out when I go back in and do my next gameplay. But it didn't seem to register that it was dead. It just seemed to be carrying on regardless, and it's like, even though you've just cut a branch down, it was still okay. So they've upped that, and this is what I'm saying about the confusion. And 1 minute it's absolutely amazing and it's glorious and it's fantastic, then you get something as stupid and as like face meltingly frustrating as how bad that it was to cut down a fucking tree, and then you go and do something else where you expect like the tree to die if you just remove a branch, and it doesn't, which then brings you back to the original. This is amazing, this is glorious, this is really good, this is the level of detail we expect from a brand new game. So yeah, it's like, so polarizing at this game, you know what I mean, at the moment. It really is. You can go in the space of minutes. I haven't even done anything really, do you know what I mean? I'm literally trying to park stuff up, and I've gone from I'm loving this, I love the way this looks, I love that, this is amazing, this is great, to borderline rage quit, whoa, you know what I mean, I just want to cut a tree down, to that's really cool, I like that bit, that's amazing, to I'm probably going to expect this to happen and it doesn't, and that's like, well, that's amazing as well then. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like, I can't keep up half the time, and that's the truth of it. It's very strange. So yeah, comments. Thank you very much for watching and sticking with me, and I do hope that it's not come across, well, it is a rant, but it's like a frustration and I don't understand kind of thing, and it's just weird. Do you agree with me or do you not? All right, comments, and this is a genuine question. All right, and one of my previous videos, it went mental, and a lot of people did end up actually agreeing with me, which was really cool, but equally those that didn't, they had very, very valid reasons, and it was like, actually, yeah, now you've said that, I agree with you. So yeah, absolutely. Do you agree with me when I say that this game at the moment, it is just so, I don't even know how to describe it. It's glorious, and then it's not, and then it is, and then it's like, oh, please. I could cope if it was just an absolute dumpster fire all the time, yeah, or I'd be like ecstatically like wet myself with enjoyment if it was amazing all the time. But the fact that literally I go from this is cool, I'm loving this, and then I try and do something so basic like trying to cut a tree down, and it's just, what the fuck. And then when you've done that, then you move on to the next thing within seconds, and it's like, this is amazing, this is cool, this is great, this is fantastic, and then you do something else, and it's like, wah, 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 wah. I can't cope. I can't cope with it. It's like, oh my god. Yeah, I'm sure, like I said, I mean, the mods are starting to come in now, which is cool. So I'm just, obviously, everybody's waiting for other people to fix their problems, as in Giants' problems. So yeah, but oh my god, cutting trees, man. Why would it be so hard? Yeah, thank you very much for watching. I am sorry that it was potentially another ranty kind of video, but it was kind of I had to put it out. I had to. There's no way I was just going to ignore that one and drop it and leave it and not say anything. It was cutting cutting a tree, to be honest, and it was awful. So yeah, comments, let me know. How do you feel? Have you had that same kind of issue? Have you even tried it? If not, do so. Please go and find a tree, go and cut it down, and let me know if you have the same problems. If you don't, you lucky bastards. That's all I can say. Anyway, go off and enjoy yourselves. Sorry that it was another pretty negative video. I am trying, but it just gets me every time. It's like I'm enjoying myself, I'm loving it, and then all of a sudden that happens. It's like, why? Anyway, yes, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for doing everything that you are doing to continue to support and help me with my channel. I say it every time, without you guys it wouldn't be worth it, so ultimately it is your fault. But please don't stop. Hopefully the next video will be way better, much better. In fact, yes, it will be, because I know exactly what I'm doing, for once. So yes, look out for the next video. It will be yeah, it'll be good. I promise you, it'll be good. So yeah, till the next one, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, love you all, yada yada yada, all the usual stuff, and see you later.